now?
Mm-hmm.
He found himself standing in the middle of a great hall. The sun was shining down from the windows near the ceiling, and the skeletons of 3 massive dinosaurs towered above him. Jack looked up, way up, at the dinosaurs and wondered whether any of the skeletons standing before him were Allosauruses, like in the book he received. Came a sound from beside Jack. He looked to the right and saw a skinny man with wild curly blonde hair and glasses standing next to him. The man seemed rather nervous, constantly shifting his feet and looking over each shoulder every couple of seconds. His glasses didn't fit very well, and he spent most of his time pushing them back onto the bridge of his nose. "You must be Jack," he said, hugging a clipboard close to his chest. "I'm Louis Porter. Thanks for coming," he added. As he extended his hand to Jack and nodded, "Hello, I'm the one who called the GPF. I'm in charge of the dinosaur exhibit here at the museum. And these are all of the big skeletons out here. They're really big." Jack remembered the name on the book from the GPF. The man standing in front of him was its author, Louis Porter. The only question Jack had now was exactly which museum he was standing in. "The museum?" asked Jack, fishing for more information. "Yes," said Louis. "The American Museum of Natural History in New York. One of the most famous museums in the whole of the United States." Before Jack could respond in any way, Louis excitedly asked, "Did you get the book on the Allosaurus? I asked the GPS to send it to you ahead of time so that you would be fully informed." "Sure did," said Jack, pulling the book out of his bag. "But I'm a bit confused. I don't understand why I'm here. These dinosaurs seem to be doing all right to me," he added, pointing to the 3 skeletons standing before him. "Are you joking?" responded Louis, who seemed genuinely shocked that Jack hadn't known what's wrong. "So obvious," he gasped, pointing to the smallest of the 3 dinosaurs. "Someone has taken the hullux of the Allosaurus." So basically the place where he's pointing at is the hullux of the bone of the Allosaurus. "The what?" asked Jack. He had never heard of a hullux before. "The hullux," said Louis in exasperation, his arms flapping silently above his head. "Come over here," he yanked Jack toward the Allosaurus. "See?" Louis pointed to where the toe should have been. "The hullux, or the first toe of this dinosaur, has been stolen," he cried. Jack looked at where the toe should have been. "Are you sure it hasn't just fallen off?" he asked. He didn't want to be rude, but it would be a waste of time if the toe had simply fallen off and rolled up underneath something on the floor. "Things like this don't just fall off," said Louis. "I know it doesn't look like much, but missing anything on this dinosaur is a big deal. The Allosaurus was one of the most ferocious carnivores of the late Jurassic. Although it was smaller, it could bring down medium to large plant-eating dinosaurs. Like the Camptosaurus, it had an expendable jaw that enabled it to chomp down and eat big pieces of meat. It could carry its 2-ton body on the strength of its muscular hind legs alone. This skeleton is almost 150 million years old. That's why it's important to find the hullux, even if it is one of the skeleton's smaller bones." When did you notice it was missing?" Jack asked. "Last thing yesterday," answered Louis. "Was there anything strange lurking around the dinosaur?" asked Jack. "Not really," said Louis. "There were just some school kids on a field trip, like always." "Well then," Jack said, "the first order of business is to view the footage from the surveillance camera. Perhaps I could sit in with your security guard while he looks at the tapes." "That's a great idea," said Louis. "Let me take you to Hall, who is in charge of the surveillance." "Thanks," Jack said. "And don't worry," he added, trying to reassure Louis. "I'll find the dinosaur's toe." "I hope so," Louis said, sighing as he hugged his clipboard. "Taking care of these dinosaurs is my life." Before leaving the room, Jack paused to look up at the gigantic skeletons once again. He thought about the TV show he'd recently seen, the one about the life and the death of dinosaurs. Jack shuddered to think what it would have been like to live among, especially at the time of the Allosaurus. The Allosaurus was a relative of Tyrannosaurus Rex and just as fearsome. Yes, Jack thought. He was glad dinosaurs in front of him were a dead collection of bones, Jack said. Lewis, Jack said Lewis, waking Jack from his thoughts. Are you ready? He asked. Sure thing, said Jack, hurrying to catch up with Lewis, who by then had already left the hall. Chapter 4. The Security Meeting. Jack followed Lewis down to the depths of the museum and into a large room filled with high-tech surveillance equipment. In the center of the room was a man wearing a security guard's uniform. He was standing in a chair in the middle of the circular desk, surrounded by at least 10 television screens and a panel of controls. Each TV screen was linked to a digital camera positioned in one of the museum's rooms. All the security officer had to do was push a button and the image on the screen would change to another from a different location. Not only could he watch events as they happened, he could record them. When Jack and Lewis entered the room, Jack noticed that the guard was looking at yesterday's tape. "Hee-yah!" Lewis said to the man, a smile widening on his face. "How's it hanging?" All right," Hal responded. Lewis nervously. "This is Jack STALWART," he said. "He's going to help me find the Allosaurus bones that went missing. Do you mind if he sits with you as you review yesterday's footage?" "No problem. Couldn't sit down beside me," said Hall, as he pulled up a chair so that Jack could join him. "Call me if you need me," Lewis said before he left the room. "Well," said Hall as he punched some buttons, "like I told Lewis, I didn't see anything unusual yesterday. Just some students passing through. Personally, I think Lewis is missing a few screws, if you know what I mean. He spends way too much time with those bones. I've been looking at these tapes all morning, and there's nothing on them to suggest anyone to the thing. Maybe Lewis was cleaning that bone and forgot to put it back or something." "Maybe," said Jack. "But if Lewis is right and the toe's been stolen, then we have a crime on our hand. Let's see what's on the video." Chapter 5. The Hook. Holt started the digital recording and a black and white moving record of the day. Before it was played out before their eyes, they had watched the video for about an hour when Hall turned to Jack. "See, I told you," he said, pointing to the screen. "Just a bunch of school kids on a field trip." Jack looked at the monitor. There was indeed an outing of school children whose teacher was showing them the magnificent dinosaur skeletons. As Jack studied the tape, he noticed something strange. One of the boys in the groups lingered behind and reached out quickly towards the dinosaur. He then bent down to his school bag and put something inside before standing up to join the group again. At one point, he looked towards the camera. "Wait," said Jack to Hall. "Can you rewind that section and play it again?" "But now," he requested, "can you play it one frame at a time?" "You got it," said Hall. As Hall played the video in slow motion, Jack leaned in to get a closer look. This time he watched the boy carefully. As he watched, Jack couldn't believe his eyes. The boy had taken a long, thin hook out of his jacket and yanked the toe off the dinosaur. He then put it in his school bag. "That's the boys taking the toe." Looks like we caught the cobra after all. "Move! I don't believe it," said Hall angrily. "How did that get past me? I didn't see that happen." "It would have been hard to see," said Jack, wrinkling his brow. "This kid is clever and fast." Jack unlocked the secret agent book bag and took out the picture grabber. It was a small rectangular silver box that, when plugged into the back of a computer or TV, could take a still picture of whatever was on the screen and print it out in your own hand. Now, can you pause the video just at the point where he turns towards the camera? Jack plugged the picture grabber to the back of the monitor and pushed the grab button. Instantly, it registered the image of the boy. Jack hit the print button and the picture printed out from the side of the box. Do you know what school he goes to? Asked Jack as he studied the boy's face. From the looks of the uniform, I say it was Eastside Grammar School, answered Hall. Its location at the intersection of 23rd Street and Park Avenue. And that's the picture that he got from the picture grabber. Great, said Jack, putting the picture of the boy in his pocket. Thanks for your help. Looks like Eastside Grammar School is my next stop. Chapter 6, The Halls of Science. As Jack approached the towering steps of Eastside Grammar, he paused for a moment to check his watch phone. It was just before 8:45 in the morning, and if it were anything like a school in English, classes were about to start. Boys and girls were hurriedly climbing the steps as they passed by Jack. He looked carefully at the red, green, and gray clothes and compared them to the uniform on the boy from his picture. Yes, Jack thought. There was no doubt the boy who took the bone from the museum was definitely a student at this school, trying to blend in with the others. He followed the students up the stairs and through the large red wooden doors amidst the clang of student lockers. Jack spied a sign that said, Principal's Office. There was an arrow on it pointing to the left. Following it, Jack came to a door with Principal Judith Danner. It's the same at the principal door. A name on it, Principal Judith Danner. He knocked twice. Stern voice answered. Yes, slowly. Jack opened the door, sitting at the desk was a woman wearing a bright purple dress. Principal Danner, he asked. Yes, who's asking, she replied, peering over her glasses and sizing up Jack. You don't look as if you attended Eastside Grammar School. No, ma'am, I don't, answered Jack. My name is Jack STALWART, he explained, showing his badge. I work for an international organization called the Global Protection Force. I've been asked to trace the whereabouts of a dinosaur bone that was stolen from the Museum of Natural History. I have a reason to believe that the person who took it attends this school. One of my students, said a surprised Principal Danner. That's him talking to the principal at the school. Yes, explained Jack, showing her a picture of the boy. I believe this student took one of the toe bones from an Allosaurus skeleton yesterday, while on a field trip at the museum. I got this picture from the surveillance video. Principal Danner studied the picture. She shook her head. I can't believe it. It's Thomas Ergley, one of our finest science students for the last 2 years. Thomas has won our school science fair. The entire school is waiting to view this year's entry, his project lesson. The survival of the roach through the ice age. Won the top honors. He even took second prize at the state science fair competition. Do you know what class he's in right now? Asked Jack. I need to speak with you then. Unfortunately, replied the principal. Jack Danner, replied Principal Danner. Thomas isn't at school today. He's home sick with the flu. I still need to speak to him, said Jack. Do you have his address? Normally I wouldn't give out this information, but as you work for the GPF, her voice trailed off as she looked for Thomas's information. Here it is, she said, pulling a piece of paper out of one of her filing cabinets. He lives in an apartment on 33rd Street, where it crosses Park Avenue, just 10 blocks away. Thank you, Principal Danner, said Jack, as he turned towards the door. I appreciate your help. As he left her office, Jack couldn't help but think about this boy named Thomas. He wondered if there was any link between the Kids Science Project and the missing towboat. There's only one way to find out, though Jack as he hurried through the school and towards the steps outside. Chapter 7, The Experiment. As Jack bounded down the steps and onto the Park Avenue, he looked out at the street before him. There was a swarm of yellow taxis lining the street and hundreds of people walking around. Horns were honking, people were talking loudly on their mobile phones, and big delivery trucks were making stops in front of the shop owners' basement doors. New York City, Jack was realizing, was definitely one of the busiest cities he'd ever seen. Just then, the ground murmured. Instinctively, Jack steadied his stance and grabbed the straps on his book bag. He looked through the grating just below him, and saw a silver train whizzing past under the pavement. This was the subway, New York City's underground railway, and it was headed north through the city, right underneath Jack's feet. Jack continued up the 10 blocks to Thomas's apartment. He climbed the stairs in front of the building and went through a glass door. Stepping into a small entrance hall, he found himself facing another glass door to his right. To his right was a panel